Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Reilly. Today we're going to be looking at the Renault KANGOO Z.E. It stands for zero emissions, so it's the all-electric version. So let's get started. Today's video was sponsored by EasyGo, Ireland's largest EV charging network. With their fleet management solution, employees can charge their cars and vans at home, at work, or on the public charging network, where there are more than 1,200 charge points. With the EasyGo fleet solution, a fleet manager can ensure vehicles are charged on a night rate electricity, and the fleet drivers can travel across Ireland and access the public charging network. Just like with fuel cards, fleet managers can now manage all electric charging costs in a single monthly bill. So the Renault ZE is 10 years old this year. Originally launched in 2011 and it's starting to show, and you can see that it is getting a bit dated in the looks, but now we know that there's a new version coming out this year in 2021. We can see on screen there the what it's going to look like. It's great to have that refresh. And how would you know the difference between the first generation before the refresh? You'll see it around the dash here. Around that front grille, either side of the Renault logo was color-coded, and also the charging port was offset, very much like a Kona in the front where the charging port was. So since they've launched it in 2011, they've sold nearly 50,000 units. So they know what they're doing when they're talking about making a small LCV, light commercial vehicle, or a van as we'd know it. This version is the entry level. There are a couple of bits of extras on it, but you don't have the body colour bumpers, which would be on the Business Plus spec. You don't have your fog lights, so there's stuff that you can add into it, and the fog lights will help you then with the likes of automatic wipers and lights. So it's a part of a package that you have to have if you're going for one of it. It's not bad looking, it's not offensive. It's a great van for sign writing. You'll see a lot of them, especially on Post, who put a massive order in 2020. It's turning this van into the second most sold electric vehicle in Ireland after the Tesla Model 3. But the fact that they put that order in shows that they have faith in Renault, but also in the van that's been around for a while. It's not brand new technology, it does the job, they know the ranges, etc, etc. The price of this electric van after grants is €29,804. That's what it's saying on the website. If you were to go for the combustion engine version of this, it'd be just around between 18 and 19,000. So there's a good guts of €10,000 in the difference between this and the regular combustion engine one. But before you turn off the review, we have to think about the total cost of ownership, or TOC, running costs, fuel, wear and tear, downtime, etc, etc. So as much as it looks bigger, it is more expensive up front. You have to think about that total cost of ownership, and if you or your business can take that initial outlay up front, it's a no-brainer, and it is the way it's going to go for a lot of businesses. So it isn't exactly angular. There's lots of curves on it, which is good for aerodynamics. This massive plastic shielding moulding is very forgiving, I'd say, if you are getting bumps and scrapes on it. 15-inch wheels. This version is the regular, so it hasn't got the folding side mirrors. And then you have dual sliding doors, which is great for getting in and getting out. And then you can see where it was it is a combustion engine version, so you still have your cap where the fuel tank would go. I'm not sure, well, that's just a blank that'll keep it quiet. But yeah, let's have a look at the back. Around the rear you have these vertical taillights, and as much as this van is 10 years old, this vertical style of taillight in a commercial vehicle is starting to really take on when you look at some of the other newer vans out there. So it was great to have it. These are still halogen bulbs, which is unfortunate to see, but I presume the new ones will all have LEDs. You also have your KANGOO, your Renault, and how you know that it's an electric vehicle. It has that ZE badge, and it obviously is the ZE 33, which is the size of the battery, 33 kilowatt hour battery. ZE, as I said at the beginning, is zero emissions. You can get this with solid doors, good openings, and then they'll also all the way around 180 degrees, so 60-40 door. And so how that is done are these two big handles on the inside of it. In the back, you've got lots of different, has the option of the paneling in it, and you have the spare wheel in here as well. So great size. The fact that you've got the double sliding doors in it is really handy as well. You also have tie-off points. So depending on the version will dictate how many tie-off points you have. So there's 6 in this, and you have ones up higher as well. And then you'll have a, whether you have the crew cab, whether you have the crew one. So the difference is short wheelbase, long wheelbase is exactly like this. You can get that with a solid bulkhead as well, whereas this one has an optional cage one, and I'll talk about that in a second. So 2 seats with a short wheelbase or a long wheelbase. Then you've got crew cab, and then you've got crew and then crew cab, where the seats fold down and you can actually make it bigger if you don't need the seats. So it's very versatile actually. Some of them do and some of them don't come with a spare wheel depending on what variation that you have. And you have your bag there for the charging cable. This is AC only, it's not DC, but I'll talk about that in the drive. It comes in 10 different colours. 3 are no extra cost, and the remaining 7 then there's a charge to them. Charging port on the Renault Kangoo is up at the front, and it is a AC only. In the rear you have from 1.3 meters squared to 4 meters squared, depending on which length and which crew cab or 2 or 5 seater version you go for. Capacity then of weight that you can carry ranges from 605 kgs to 640 kgs. Also comes with disc brakes front and rear. Let's have a look on the inside. Like a lot of electric commercial vehicles, it is built for that commercial use in mind. So there's a lot of tough black hard plastics that will take that wear and tear. It's not bad in here. There are a couple of options that I would like to put on it if it was my own van, but let's start from the door and work our way over again. So as I mentioned, you've got electrically adjusted side mirrors, but they're not retractable. That's on the Business Plus model. You have your electric front windows. Then you've got massive door pockets for down here, and that's where you'd be putting your bottles of water. Steering wheel is a good size, and behind it then you have that, it's probably the one thing I don't like about it, you have these little nubs, or like little Scania wheel nuts or little thumbs. Left hand side is your lights, and on the right hand side you've got your washer wiper, and then underneath that then you've got your audio module, answering the phone, volume up, volume down, and you've got a traditional key with central locking on it. Behind that then you've got your battery meter on the left hand side, you've got your speedometer in the middle, and then on the right hand side you have the what mode you're in, and the fact that it's Z.E, so it's zero emission. Up top then you've got a massive A4 document holder is what they're calling it, but then if you spec the R link, you've got your screen up there that you could link up to Android Auto, and you can have your sat nav etc on it. Underneath that then you have your vents, you have your circulating or fresh air coming in, your temperature, and what speed the fan is at, and then where you want the hot air or cold air blowing to. This model has air con added on, and it is has the defrosted windows because there is the in the back. You have your CD player, and that has also a USB type A for charging, but also for connecting your phone to it. You have your big red hazard light button, and you have your central locking. You have your drive gear selector, so that comes in. It's a little sticker onto the actual hard plastic here. I'd love if that was illuminated, because I'd love to know what I'm in, but you can see it over here. So there's little quirks about this van that sometimes get me annoyed, but not too bad. And there's a little thumb button on the right hand side that will actually help you change that selection. Underneath that then you have a coffee cup holder or drinks holder. You have this massive turbo booster handle, which is the handbrake, and then you have your 12 volt, and you've got the eco button, and we'll talk about this when we're driving. Behind that then you've got another storage slot, and you have another drinks holder. Not the biggest drinks holder in the world. When we tried the EV Review Ireland water bottle, it's not going into either of them, so that's why it's currently in the door. So it won't fit in there, and it definitely won't fit in there. And that's a funny one up there, because when you take the handbrake off, kind of encroaches on that space. But listen, these are all things that you'd learn to live around or live with. With the Business Plus trim, what we talked about when we're on the outside, we've got the folding side mirrors, but you also have a parcel shelf up here for documents, etc. And you also have an armrest that has some cubby holes inside in it here. This does come with the mesh bulkhead. So I'll show you how that works now in a second. You have another hidey hole here, and you have your glove box. Not the biggest glove box in the world, again, because it's continental Europe. You have your fuse box there. Otherwise, everything is wipe downable. It comes with 2 fabrics. There's no extra charge for either of them. Some of the extras that are on this, you have passenger airbag for 185. You have paneling in the back we talked about for 60 euros. Air conditioning is 800 euros, and that includes a heat pump. And you've got the swivel bulkhead. So let's see if I can reach over and do that. So there's a clip here that will allow this front bit to fall forward. Then you have a handle at the side here, and that brings it all the way down. And then there's a little clasp. Let's put the seat belt behind it. And that moves around here. There's a little groove in the back of the chair. And now you can have full length. So now you can have full length up along the side, but also the driver is protected. You're losing your passenger seat, but if you did need that length, really good idea, really smart. The only issue with it, we need to remember, is because you haven't got that sealed bulkhead, you will have it harder to heat the van in total. That's really well engineered. And let's move that back down again. And we're good to go. So you can, with the driver's seat, you can bring it forward or back. And then you can also move the base of it forward or back as well. Steering wheel is adjustable as well, handle here, and so we've got just rake. We don't have reach, doesn't move. So you have to adjust your chair for that. If you wanted the R-Link multimedia screen there that could take sat-nav and Android Auto, etc., 750 euros. So once you start adding on the extras, it starts to build up. But it's if you're working with it all day, every day, and do you need it? They also offer a bracketed system where you put your phone in and that becomes the infotainment system. An option for you as well. If you think this van may be for you or your business, you can contact EasyGo and get your fleet driver set up on an eFuel card by clicking the link on the screen or in the description. So what's it like driving the Renault KANGOO Z.E? So it's a traditional key start, so putting it in, and very similar like a lot of electric vehicles. You turn it on and then hold it forward until you hear the little beep, which you just did, and then the go light comes on. Then you've got the gear selector all the way down for drive, and then the handbrake is manual as well. And off we go. Nice seating position. It is also great visibility, massive tall windscreen, big doors, big windows in the doors as well. And obviously this has the cage bulkhead, so you can have the ability to have the rear view mirror, and also we have glass in the back of the van as well, but that all depends on the version and the variation that you go for. It is a Renault KANGOO Z.E 33, so that gives you a hint. It's a 33 kilowatt hour battery, and 31 kilowatts of that is usable. WLTP is about 240 kilometers, but in fairness to Renault, on the website they say in a good day you'll get about 200, and on a bad cold wintry day you'll get about 120. So it is putting it there in black and white. What I'm getting, it is just at the start of May 2021, temperatures around 8-9 degrees, and it is, I'm getting about 160, 170 kilometers. So not bad. It is, it's acceptable, and if you know your route, if you're a commercial driver, whether that be the radius of the work that you do, as I mentioned on Post, the Irish Postal Service ordered over 600 of them, and they obviously know the routes that they can fit them onto, because those routes don't change. So if it works for you, it'll be phenomenal. What's powering the Renault KANGOO Z.E is a 44 kilowatt motor that gives you 60 brake horsepower, and that's the exact same across all 4 levels, no matter what size of van you go for, whether it's the regular or the maxi version. It is front wheel drive, and that electric motor puts out 225 newton meters of torque. The motor that they've used on the Renault KANGOO Z.E is the one that's out of the R75 to 90 Renault Zoe. So again, another very familiar car to us on Irish roads, and one of the top selling electric vehicles in Europe. So it has built on its the best parts of its electric vehicle lineup. Speaking of the Renault Zoe, there is going to be a Renault Zoe commercial van, which looks good, and then they also have the much larger Renault Master Z.E, and that is, I'm hoping to get that on the channel at some stage as well. So Renault really filling out their commercial line with electric vehicles. It's really nice that it is built for commercial aspect, number one. Number two, but it's comfortable. The seats are good, the ride is good, even if it is about 1,600 kilograms of weight overall. Yeah, I'd have no problem driving this. I think the seats are comfortable. The steering wheel is a good weight. There's a couple of things that I talked about when we did it inside in the cab, with regards to the little stalks for the indicators and the lights and the wipers. I'd love an infotainment system. But listen, it does exactly what it says in the tin. It is utilitarian, and it will do the job very well, I'm sure. Charging the Renault KANGOO Z.E will take 6 hours. It has only got an AC on it, and the maximum AC that it can draw is 7.4 kilowatts. So it will be an overnight job. You can't top it up when you're in having a little bite to eat, etc. But it is. You just have to be conscious of that. There is no DC rapid fast charging. There's a 5-year warranty with this, and that is either 5-year or 100,000 kilometers, whichever comes sooner. And Renault will guarantee the battery will have a capacity at least of 70% within that, a usable battery range of 70% within that 5-year or 100,000 kilometer range. Some driver assist that you get on it. You get ESC, electronic stability control. You also have hill start or hill assist. You also have grip extend, which is like a traction control. Marketing people are amazing, you know that. Grip extend. If you want cruise control in the Renault KANGOO Z.E, it's an extra €100. You also get ABS and EBD, anti-lock braking system, and electronic brake distribution. So there's lots of driver assist with it, which is great to see. The last one I like, it has RAID. Do you know what RAID stands for? That's Renault Anti-Intruder Device. So it's just an automatic lock when you go above a certain kilometer. It also has Z.E voice. You know what Z.E voice is? That's the noise that Renaults make when they are driving along. You can turn that off as well if you want to. There's a little button down on the right hand side in front of your right knee, on this model anyway. This version of the KANGOO also comes with reversing sensors. So yeah, it's not going to be the fastest electric vehicle out the blocks. It hasn't got the largest brake horsepower. It is torquey enough, but once you start getting, you'll beat people at traffic lights, but otherwise you're not going to be winning any land speed records with it. But yeah, comfortable enough.
Today's video was sponsored by EasyGo, who are now offering e-fleet services to include home, workplace and public charging network, as well as fleet managers' oversight of all costs and bills. For more info or to submit a quote, click the link on the screen or in the description.
That's my look around the Renault KANGOO Z.E. Starting to get a bit old in the tooth, and we've talked about this. It's 10 years old this year. Had that refreshed, but that was earlier on in its career. But we now know that there's a fully refreshed model coming sometime this year potentially. But the size of the order that the Irish Postal Service put in for this van last year in 2020, over 600 units, shows the confidence that they have in it. This electric van has been around a long time. It's proven itself. It's not new technology by any means. They just upgraded the parts that they needed to upgrade in it. It is built to do a job, and that's what commercial enterprises are all about. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review. If you can, give me a thumbs up and like the video, and also let me know in the comments what you think of these smaller electric vans, those last mile, those deliveries, section vans, and also vans for tradespeople that may not need the bulk. Remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks for watching.